Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're having a good holiday season. And have you ever read Catch-22 and thought, who hurt you, Joseph Heller? Who hurt you? Because that book doesn't feel like it was written at a desk. It feels like it was written inside a filing cabinet that's on fire. Today, we're doing what a Discord member asked for, behind the scenes of the author. Not really a plot recap, not a book report, but we're talking about the human engine that actually built the thing. Life experiences that made Heller's brain go, ah, yes, let's turn bureaucracy into a haunted house. So we're going to be going over childhood fear imagery, the war machine, the office machine, and the title trap. Then we're going to go over some of the collectible books and purchasable books if you're interested in reading the work itself. So, no homework energy really, and just behind the scenes and why. Um, and anything I'll be sharing on screen today, those links will be down in the description, just like they normally are. So, speaking of, let's crank up that screen share. Screen share, yeah. There we are. So, um, this is yeah, before the war, before publishing, before Catch-22 becomes a phrase you mutter into your coffee. Heller has this recurring energy too far from the shore, that moment where the world looks normal, but your body knows you're committed and exposed. He later writes about his life in a memoir called Now and Then From Coney Island to Here. That title alone sounds like kind of a warning label. Um, so let's go over here. Believe there is a memoir page here, book description. Well, there's the author little blurb, so we'll just stick it there for right now. This is the original vibe, not I was destined to be a genius, but here's the texture of the life that shaped my brain, says Heller. And another thing he says is too far from shore, end quote. Filling is a seed of Catch-22. You're out there, you're committed, and the system has opinions about your survival. If you ever walk too far in the DMV and realize there's really no exit, congratulations, you've touched the buoy. Um, so he did serve, which was very much an impact upon him. Let me pull this up. It will. There we go. There's a plane. So onward we go. So now World War II, the furnace, here's behind the author's point. Heller's war experience isn't just danger, it's danger inside a system. You got a chain of command with procedures, targets, and rules. A machine that can say, do it again. And your choices are basically comply, two, don't comply, see option one. And if you forgot already, it's comply. That's pretty much Catch-22's DNA, danger managed by paperwork. The filing cabinet is not only on fire, now it's, well, airborne. So, and we're going to go down to this section here. You can see some messed up parts, which you're about to find out about. Uh, there's a mission over Avnon on August 15th, 1944. Violent, evasive, action, heavy flak, and G-forces pinning him inside the aircraft nose. That, quote, trapped inside the machine, end quote, feeling becomes the book's signature flavor. Funny, terrifying, absurd, all at the same time. Um, so please hold, your terror is important to us. Now we're going to hop over here, and I believe we're going to see Heller for the first time. Here's him in his later years in 1986. This is a neat little article. Again, this will be down in the description. After the war, Heller doesn't become a mystical cabin writer. He enters more systems, which includes teaching, advertising copy, promotional work, while building the novel in his spare time. So it goes from this war machine to academia machine, media machine, and then we're now at advertising machine. That's why Catch-22 can often feel like it reads like a memo, a slogan, a loophole, a panic attack stapled together and stamped approved. So same filing cabinet and different department. So we're gonna go over here, bouncing around today. There we go. There is a neat little description about the book itself. And if you want a clean, stable, how the book exists page, you can Uh, Pretty much count on this book here. And the key behind the author point is simple. Heller is someone whose brain learned to translate systems into satire. And we're gonna bounce back over to Penguin. What neat little paperback cover. And yes. Uh, so we got war background, post-war work life, and how the book took shape over time. Now here's the human beat. The human element explains why the tone feels like a calm sentence right before the sprinkler system goes off. And speaking of sprinkler systems, onward to Vanity Fair. There's him in his much younger years. Got the typewriter over there, feet on the desk. Got a little war shot of him with his boys, it looks like. And it's a neat little article. And again, this will be down in the description below. But we'll leave him right where he is, all comfortable like. So, one account of how Catch-22 begins, Heller's lying in bed and the line hits him. Quote, "It was love at first sight," end quote. That's a calm sentence right before the filing cabinet catches fire. So, I'm gonna go back to the Simon and Schuster. Nah, we're not. We're gonna come back over here. So we don't need the whole story on screen, just the point. The book starts with a spark, and Heller's brain turns into a controlled burn aimed at the system itself. Um, that's behind the author magic, a mind that can turn a spark into a controlled burn and then aim it directly at bureaucracy. So if you ever try to cancel a gym membership or file an insurance claim or speak to a human at a phone company, you pretty much understand Catch-22 emotionally. You're not arguing with a person, you're arguing with a system that has a script, and your suffering is, well, outside normal business hours. Please hold. That's pretty accurate. I mean, I've been frustrated because I've been on hold because I'm mad at the situation. I'm mad that I'm on hold, and I'm gonna be mad. I know the forthcoming, I have to explain it in slow child mode to the poor sap that's gonna answer my phone call, and they're not gonna like me very much because I'm just upset all around. So let's go on here to a Columbia piece. So, yeah, so this is a recapping of a collaboration with Robert. I think it's Gottlieb, whatever, with Joseph Heller. And yeah, and here's a small spoiler alert. So I'm just going to leave that highlighted on the screen to annoy you and infuriate you. So if you don't want to know, don't look at the screen. Haha. So if you want editor side context, how this book was shaped, this is a great on-screen page, and the big behind the author point still holds. The book wasn't a lightning bolt. It was crafted, edited, and refined. Uh, the filing cabinet is on fire, and now it has customer support chatbot. Hate it even more now. So we're gonna go over to some archives here. So these images rather are images of handwritten, typewritten, written, cross lines out, all kinds of stuff. And here is a giant notebook filing area of the whole work. We got one, two, three, four, five, six that we can see. And they got other links and side notes. So this is a fun read. I do encourage you to actually read it, and this will be down in the description. So, um, if you want a physical, this is real artifact. Brandeis has manuscript and correspondence context, primarily materials energy. This is the part that reminds you a human being made this line by line, revision after revision. Okay, it's not a plot recap, but here is the fingerprint. Um, Catch-22's signature weapon is simple and brutal. A sane person tries to survive in an insane system. The system reserves the right to define sanity whenever convenient. That's why Catch-22 escaped the novel and became a phrase because bureaucracy doesn't retire. It just updates its websites, makes you reset your password, and then locks your account for security reasons. Urgh! Can't take much more. All right, let's go over to the Guardian over here. What's the Guardian got for us? '74, he was all ego all over his face. He thinks Catch-22 makes him America's greatest novelist. What more can a man achieve? Well, he can try and be a bit nicer. So, yeah. And this article is 27 years old. I love that highlight there. And this is a giant banana ad. Ugh. Guardian, you need to work on your color choices. That's absurd. Anyway, one of the most Joseph Heller lines is when people told him he never wrote anything as good as Catch-22, he replied, and I quote, "Who has?" End quote. So it's funny, defensive, honest, and also devastating. Like, you did this, you haven't done anything better since, but he's like, nobody else has either. Suck it. Haha. So even fame is a filing cabinet. Sometimes it's also on fire. Um, Lane one, if you're a first time reader, your goal is flow, don't fight the font. And we're going to look at an actual purchasable copy. Yep, and we saw this earlier. It's $30. It's the 50th anniversary edition. It's not a bad route to go for your first time read. And it looks like you got some audio if you so choose. So moving on along. I believe this was on the Penguin page. And the first one we're looking at was from Simon and Schuster, and we saw this one also earlier. This one is fairly cheap, I believe. Do I have to add to cart to find out? Am I? Am I? Oh no, it's just going to redirect me. So let's go take a look at bookshop.org. We like those people. We don't like this, except all. Give me the cookies. Took me to the UK site. But anyway, it's about £10 over in the UK. So there you go. Paperbacks even. Well, I got two. Not sure why they got two, but whatever. Carrying on. Um, so when you're reading this thing, you want to give your eyeballs a comfortable chair. Do not get a audited by your own edition, essentially. The super tiny font, I get why they do it from a publishing perspective, but if you're going to read this thing, get it in decent size font, please. So one of those two that I just went over would probably be good. If you're in more of the collector's lane, of course, you're going to verify before you spend any real money. Let's go to the Biblio page. And it's loading. Loading. Biblio, you're going to let us down today? We had a great video on you. Don't let us down now. Okay. Well, okay, here we go. Uh, here are a lot of different versions of Catch-22. And again, we saw these copies earlier. The cheapest was shipping. And I believe collecting Catch-22. So the novel's title refers to a plot device that is purely invoked in the story. Catch blah 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 blah. Okay, first identification. So you want the Simon and Schuster one, published in June of 1961. The first edition is bound in blue cloth, and the top edges of its pages are stained red. And the statement, I guess that was supposed to be quotes once a time, but anyway, it says first printing appears on the copyright page itself. The dust jacket of the first edition has the original $5.95. That's probably going to be your biggest teller of if it's a first edition or not. On the bottom of the front flap and the author's picture on the back panel flap with no blurb. So if you're on the secondary market and they didn't take photos at the $5.95 price, or it's been price clipped, which is where they take a horrible pair of scissors and literally cut out the price of the book, you probably want to ask for pictures so you can do your best judgment on that. If you're not in it for the first edition, there are some other notable ones, which is the first UK edition published by Jonathan Cape in '62, and then the Franklin Library leather-bound and signed limited edition. So if you want his signature, you probably want to go the Franklin Library route. And that's not to say that, as we're looking down here, these mighty price tags, he didn't sign the American version, but when we're talking 15K, I like how we got free shipping with that. But we did not get free shipping with our 11.5K. $8,500, $8,200, $4,500, $5,000, goes on and on and on. So we're talking thousands of dollars. So you want to make sure you make the right purchase for your dollar amount because it's not cheap unless you get lucky. $1 auction start. Let's go. All right. So let's look at another rare one. Can I blow this up? I can. So we got Scribble Scribble in fancy cursive with Joe Heller. Also, he dated it, so that has significance because the year is, remember, it came out in 61. This is him signing it in 61. So that adds a little bit more to flair, and I'm not going to try to read the fancy cursive there. It hurts my eyeballs. So we'll stop. This is actually pretty cool for $5,500 that you can get right now from BB Rare Book. Alrighty, moving all along. We'll look at one final copy for collectors. We looked at this earlier, so just a long, long article of neat little things, and you can see the different versions over here in different languages even. So that's cool for each one of the first editions. So that can help you out here. And finding A. Joseph Heller's collection, this may be a neat side article for you as well. So go on over back. So you don't want to buy a first edition from a listing photo taken inside a toaster. Verify the points, buy reputable, and protect your own personal joy. So we're going to move on to war details plus live experience feeding the art. So if we go over here, that is just a clean, slow reality building thing. And then I believe we already looked at the Britannica, and we've already looked at the Simon & Schuster one, and Columbia. So yeah. So I think that satisfied our users' request, hopefully. They'll let me know. They can leave me a nasty comment or a comment at all, which would be cool. So who is Joseph Heller behind Catch-22? Too Far From Shore, Trapped Inside Systems, and turning it into comedy sharp enough to cut. So I want to know from you, drop an author in the comments to see which one we do next, and maybe the most voted one will win. Actually, we'll do that as long as you guys actually leave the comment. So again, we'll have all the lovely little links and articles and book purchasable options for you down in the description. If you want to join us on Discord, the public Discord is also down in the description below. And if you're interested in Patreon and signing up for our cool book club, which we may be reading Catch-22 at some point on, well, that link's also down in the description. And I think that is going to do it for today. And as always, keep on booking on.